After I saw video and read the Uluru statement from the heart, I saw the pain and suffering. I feel sad and depressed. What happened to Aboriginal in the past? So I want to do something about it. As a Buddhist, I contact Professor Jack Beetson to come and explain and give us more clarity.
I see this as a bringing together of Australia. Some people talk about it being divisive. I don't at all. I think this is where the beginning of us embracing each other as a nation, and Australia, truly becoming ours. That we all live and belong here.
You play a significant role in the creation of the Uluru Statement. Could you explain why these documents hold such importance?
I think it's extremely important because it was put together by hundreds of people from around the country that came together in a host of workshops that were organised. And I think it's really important that when people are considering this upcoming referendum, people keep saying that this is a top-down approach, but it's actually not. It grew from the ground up. That was the whole idea of the workshops.
I feel this statement is an opportunity for us all to call this land home. As a Buddhist, we have a lot of connection, just like in our language, we say Thammasat, which is we believe in the nature. And so that Aboriginal people and very much connection with our own ancestor. And so do we as a Buddhist.
Absolutely, they're things that we do have in common. The whole thing around, not just nature, but preservation of nature, the sustainability of nature. When I talk about nature, I talk about the rivers, I talk about the plants, I talk about the animals, and it's around balancing all of that. And those are things that I'm absolutely certain that we have in common with Buddhists. So there are so many things that bring us together other than the referendum. What this invitation is about is reconnecting as a nation of people, as Australians, regardless of where we originally come from and where we are now. It's about making that reconnection.
Healing the past is an important aspiration and a significant step forward, reconciliation and forgiveness. In our belief, and the greatest gift of all is the forgiveness, or in our own saying is apayathan. But that is what we as a Buddhist try to practice, apayathan.
My mother, she was forbidden to speak her language, so she didn't. But I can remember when I was very little when she taught me about forgiveness and what it actually meant. And she pointed that out when I was blaming other people, when I was pointing at others and saying it's their fault, they did this, they did that. And she said, well, the greatest gift you can give them back is forgiveness. And it's so true, that capacity to forgive, both in Buddhists and in Aboriginal people, is extraordinary.
So you think with the voice, it will help your people a lot?
The difference with the voice is that once it's enshrined in the Constitution, it can't be taken away at the whim of a government. Nobody can actually take it away because it's enshrined in the Constitution.
It's the law of the
it's
country.
The law. Yeah, it's part of your Constitution. People quite often look for detail of what that might mean, but constitutions they're not detailed documents, they're actually principle documents. So they're the principles are in the Constitution. So we're not looking for massive change, we're not enshrining anything in terms of how it operates and all that. That's determined by the government. And it has the legislation, like any legislation, which the voice will be wrapped up in, that has to be determined by due political process, which means that the government and the opposition get to debate it and all those sorts of things as you would any other piece of legislation.
So I believe you have tried so many things with the different government for the past, but this is the void you really need the real people to work with you.
Yeah, look, I just think it's such a modest ask that it's something that people want to see get across the line. I actually have confidence in Australian people to vote yes in this referendum, but that doesn't mean people can't vote no. That's not, people have a right in a democracy. All I'm asking people is to exercise that right. I know what I'm doing, but it doesn't mean I want to go out there and drag everybody else into the polling booth and vote the way I do.
Well, that's a beautiful about this country, isn't it? That you have the right to express your opinion, you express the freedom, what you need.
That's all I'm asking people to do here. As Australians, do we think this is a good thing for the country or don't we? And then, based on whatever information you can get, make that choice.
As a Buddhist, we would like to walk with you for the better of the future of our country.
Thank you very much, and I take a great deal of comfort in knowing that.
Thank you, Professor Jack Beetson.
Thanks, Nith.
Thank you.